Hello, coming at you with a Facebook Jockey Daily Podcast, right? Jeez, I wasn't planning to do one. Happy Sunday, but you know what? Good on you, as I mentioned in my little intro, little clip there, Tulsi. Good on you, and I mean, what can I say about this situation that has not already been said about, like, the movie Going Overboard, or Zardoz, or even Trainwreck, right? But at any rate, this is, wait a minute, you have to be prudent right away here, Mr. Blinken, right? Because I don't think your administration there, Mr. Biden, is like totally grown up enough about it. Because if you don't do right immediately with this situation, and you try to worry about burying facts from public scrutiny first, that's a terrible mistake. And you would be responsible if you don't not only disclose those locations publicly, like to the world. This one, and here you show it on CNN, you show it to Putin, and you put ball in his court. Because then if he blows anything up, wait a minute, at least you told him it was there and it's not totally on you here. But if you don't do that, which it strikes me as strange that they wouldn't have had egg on their face in that regard enough to that could have been something that's not strong arming here. Wait a minute, if you shoot that, I mean that seems dumber potentially than even shooting the nuclear facility, which was very dumb. But that would be more of a local problem, sadly, and a European problem like this. That you don't want. Wait a minute, we just went through this. I don't care how regretful some might be, all the money you poured in. You know, that one virus was really good, all the ways it makes them sick. We got the cures, but it doesn't really work, and it's tragic, and then they die. That one was a real one. If you don't burn whatever the fuck viruses you have, if you don't destroy them, right? Particularly in the labs that happen to be located in Ukraine. And you must understand, I do believe Tulsi. You know that? Because that person is not Ann Navarro or Ann Coulter here, and was a congresswoman and is a soldier to this day. I think she's in the National Guard. And so, I mean, she's not speaking out of turn or without information. You know, that would not only be any political suicide, it would also be, you wouldn't have TV, you couldn't be pun. Anyway, she is not making that up. So it would do no good to attack, and paint her as an agent of China, when last time I checked, hey, wait a minute, who colluded together? Was it not the Americans and the Chinese in that goddamn Wuhan lab with the gain of function? I mean, we even know, supposedly the funding stopped going for that aspect of it, I think, with the changing of the definition of it. That guy, you're trying to protect that guy and that club, all right? We don't do that. Because you have to pick. You have to be grown up in a room. America is a world leader, I agree. No matter what, that's so. So if you don't show them how to lead for once with transparency and truth, and use that to make at least a temporary ceasefire, if not peace, because the world should hold both Putin's and Ukraine's and America's feet to the fire until those things are destroyed. And Mr. Putin, you don't need your soldiers getting sick, or the Ukrainians, or anyone. So you could be mad about it the same as an American citizen, an average Joe would be mad about it. Because why would you don't do that? But they all you got your own creepy labs, I'm sure, and they got you, even though they do it. Wait a minute. You have to be adults in the room, and if you want to get ahead of something, then just do the right thing, and then at least balls in Putin's court as to at least you know damn well, don't attack these. Be prudent. No one needs this. Take a step back from cliff, please. So it does complicate things, but at very least there's a silver lining in that there is still somebody honest enough to just speak true. It does not take many words to speak the truth. It was a 2-minute clip jam-packed with uh-oh. That's a uh-oh for you. But at least, she's not troublemaker for saying such a thing. No matter how much, like, liars, like, you want to use it for the trouble, all the ways we can die. If you don't grow up on this one quick, if Biden doesn't understand, don't wait for a news cycle when it's 24 hours anyway, and not totally sincere. So rather than waste time, get ahead of it, call for peace, and make certain if you're another country or a world leader in another country, you will hold America's feet to the fire immediately with respect to disclosing in public to our news and yours where the hell these labs are, and then make it make sense that you told Putin and not just in the dark maybe. Because if you are not prudent, no travel ban or anything else you might do later is going to save as many lives than if you just actually do the proper thing right now. But usually that you like lying. You like lying. They like lying. They like ill will club. They do not talk about ill will club. There's common ground that they don't want you to know about with this country. But you're a 21st century digital whore, right? You don't know how to read, but you got the money. Yeah. I could go on and on about certain things. I'm not, wait a minute. This is wait a minute. You people, and you're like, don't give me your moral. I'm not giving you morals. This is a state matter, all right? And this is a no-brainer. And if you don't understand, no, there are morals. Even an atheist would have to agree there's a such thing as morals, or the word love. And we have so much more in common. I just don't like troublemakers. I mean, these days, if you have a D or an R next to your name, half the country, they hate you just for that. And that's not how politics should do. Wait a minute. You're not going to help anyone once with such a thing. So, let's just try to find at least a little common ground with this one and hold the current administration's feet to the fire, because they are the ones that can do something about it. And last time I checked, Biden was also part of the administration 4 years ago, in power for 8 years. And where did those labs come from? I don't think they were all put there under Trump's watch, actually. He didn't seem to know too much what's going on in Ukraine. So let's not worry about a partisan issue when that is not partisan. You have got the military-industrial complex and the big fans of collusion on both sides of the aisle in harmonious agreement, like usual, I'm sure, to keep your trap shut and make sure they get back to Tulsi. Troublemaker. Hey, wait a minute. Leave that person alone. That person was brave and spoke true and spoke just matter-of-factly. Oh, by the way, no, I don't think it's 2 labs in Ukraine. I think it's 25 to 30. So let's grow up, all right? Don't need, but the sneaking club and, some of the pathogens. Guy, I'm telling you now. Don't, please. You need brain now. You need to do the right thing now. You could use that talking point to talk down Putin into at least a temporary ceasefire. You would be happy to do that because that is a good negotiating point. You certainly wouldn't want to attack anybody who points that out as a misinformant or something right now when you and I probably both understand, no. Actually, I think Tulsi probably does speak true and would not say that lightly once. If you want to say that about that person, you wait a minute. Eat shit. That's a soldier and like a congresswoman, a former congresswoman. I don't know if whatever she does, like she's not doing it out of turn. She's just telling you facts, which CNN, I don't think they're going to notice. I don't think Fox is going to notice in all the ways that they do. Well, that is a no approve. But she's saying, no, actually there's documented, blah, blah, blah. And they don't put all their experiments on the books. So it doesn't matter what book everybody knows that about government biolabs, all right? So whatever the hell it is, grow up, You don't need to give the public every last detail just yet as to what, but you do need to provide at least the world leaders should be able to call you up and get video confirmation of this one's now destroyed and this is destroyed and we closed the labs and it is safe and we red taped it and we went around with made sure. If you don't do that for the world, when America obviously helped fund those particular labs, and they're not the only country. Last time seemed like a joint effort between certain Americans and certain the Chinese, right? They even know, wait a minute, and they don't, it's a global, we're already global citizens with, internet, and we don't need, wait a minute, you better grow up, because it does affect us all, especially if something goes awry there, and you're not going to handle that problem in the dark, obviously, during wartime. When bombs are being indiscriminately, don't take that risk. And then, maybe you can pin it on, wait a minute. The only way you could do that is if you tell them exactly where not to shoot, don't come near it, and let us immediately handle it. And we owe that to the world, and so do you. And just say that, please. Because we don't need this stuff, all right? You're not, there's nothing whatsoever honorable about no transparency to the press in this situation. If you are the current administration dealing with the current set of problems, but you can't even say that about it, right? So, yeah, we don't know anything about necessarily the neo-Nazis or anything else this guy's talking, but there are some viruses that you might not want to blow up. You could at least say that. Please do say that. Because if something breaks and doesn't, don't. Okay? Please. We need the truth. How can the truth? Well, you look at it. And they're happy to not disclose that to begin with? What does that say about the people in the government who knew that shit was there and didn't even tell the American citizen, let alone public heads up to Putin 2 weeks ago? And you do give him talking point and out precisely, but then, thank you, Tulsi. They're 25 to 30, actually, not maybe 2. So let's cut bullshit. Because there's at least one, right? And you bet, hey, wait a minute. Stop. You want to act you want the moral high ground, you want to act like we're in the upright with the optics, then do the right thing, and then that's what you will be. But if you don't, now's not the time for that with the biolabs in Ukraine. Beep, beep. Nope. All right, gang. I don't care what sex cult club underground you belong to. I could get into some of these. I've got stories of my first week attempting online dating. Seems like I get the scam artist. I might sound like a man if I talk to you, but could you give me the 5? I mean, yeah, it's cute, but I don't want to bother. Oh, no, I'm not sending you a group. If that's true, hey, great. I gave you my contact information, right? Here's my phone number. Well, why would I need to put a credit card into a campsite to make sure we can talk face to face and I'm a human when I want that too? I make sure you're the person you say you are before I meet you or whatever. However, but no. I'm not going to give you my credit card. And don't. Just, if I want to do that, I do that, right? But see, you say you're not that, but then zoop, it's that. And well, it's enough of them too. It's the whole culture. I could get into it. But rather than anything like that, I tell you, they use stuff like that, and they kind of they have surety to that, and right, and they forget basics. And please grow up a little about it. You could get to a point in this country where even with your secret cool clubs, you could just talk about how you don't do that anymore. And sure, you still have social clubs and gallant things, but what we don't do is just about it, right? And we talk about it. Anything that's happened in my life that I feel compelled to say in public about things, particular society issues, I am now allowed to say that again on my own TV and on my own stuff. See, in America, like, the more you're not brave when you sneak and you're too scared to, like, actually be yourself, but yet, like, all the ways you think tough or whatever. Like, that's Palpatine garbage. Please, we don't need that. And whatever you do, listen to Tulsi Gabbard. We need an immediate ceasefire, at very least in those regions, and we need to go destroy those viruses ASAP. Unadulterated, beginning, middle, and done, no problem. Next, done, no problem. Then close them down, and you owe that to the world now. And it does give a respite to Ukraine and Russia to figure it out while you do so with a ceasefire. So please stop with the petty about it, but you can't even do that about it, okay? Putting the word out to TikTok like messengers who are very popular is not going to help here. What's going to help here, right, is that you do that and tell the news and tell the world and make sure you insist those labs are properly dealt with and then closed now. Not like, well, it's complicated in Orient War. Well, again, see, dishonesty. And then, it's just children about it. And then, and we don't need death in World War III. And just make sure if you do, you're very feminist about it. Because, like, if you do a draft, hey, wait a minute. I don't care how cute you are. You got drafted. Nope, you get cut down like me and every other idiot who gets drafted, right? I fully support that, and I fully understand. We don't want that anyway, idiot. So I'm just saying, you don't understand. We are on a precipice. There are, like, things like, wait a minute. Just do your part to do the proper thing now. Take responsibility for whatever actions of whatever prior administration now. And at least then you do still maintain integrity and moral high ground. Everybody knows America and these big shot countries have these damn labs. Some of them are in Ukraine because, like I said, seems like very disingenuous to be there and so concerned with the labs and certain politics and like the DOC, Democratic, like whatever, it's going to like have servers there. Yet, like, all the ways like, oh no, they're not like, they've got lots of corruption and like, they're not like, they got to worry if they're going to be part of like the world or of Europe. Wait a minute. You like found a center and them like chewed them up and left if you do that. And you don't like at least mention the like, wait a minute. You could, that is a pretty big, the whole world would agree with your like stance. Whatever the case, it can't be helped, but we agree with the Americans. Stop now and let them go and, like, destroy this shit. They would put pressure on Putin. Same as Biden. But you actually have to, if you don't know about that in public, well, I understand you won't win re-election, and even the midterms will be far worse if you do the wrong thing on the CNN and the MSNBC and the Jen Psaki bullet pulpit today and tomorrow and the next day, with respect to labs in Ukraine in specific. That's it. Nope, I believe Tulsi. I think she has a right to be believed with that, actually. Duh. So, signing off. Have a very nice day. And, hey, Mr. Biden, don't try it with the, like, we don't know about the labs, all right? Because if you try it, that will be, wait a minute. Let's take a step back. So you're saying it makes more sense to deny that there are labs that there obviously are that have bio-like weapons in them. That if like blown up, like worse than COVID potentially, because who the hell knows what the hell they got in it, right? So if you want to take the stance that what makes sense is the usual way, like this looks bad for us, so no, attack like Trump did it. Don't do that. Grow up, Mr. Blinken. You're the only grown up in that entire administration. Please do the right thing. Signing off.